Hi, it's Mike from Gear Diary and wanted to take a first quick look at the Magellan switch. And as you can see, rather than a straight GPS watch such as the Nike Plus that I've had for several months and the new Garmin Forerunner 10, the Magellan switch indicates swimming, biking, as well as running crossover. So for all different types of activities, and there's just a number of things mentioned here as well as what the display looks like. So let's open the box and take a look. So we have got the GPS itself in here, and it comes attached to a watch, as you can see there. Let's see what else is in the box. We have got a plug. It looks like it's got a multi-tap type adapter that aside from just plugging into a standard type of an outlet, a standard US outlet, could be configured for other things as well. So let's see what else is in here. We've got the outlet adapter for the US outlets, and we have got a dock cable. So let's again just pull this out, and it looks similar in a lot of ways to what I've got now for the Garmin setup. This again, you can plug the micro or the standard USB into there to charge it. And now let's just take a quick second and detach. Well, it looks like I'm going to have to unhook the watch in order to get it out. Alright, so we have got a watch that hooks up fairly easily. If you look, it's got a pretty robust looking little connection there. And if I can manage to get this off, then we'll get a little bit more of a look at the watch face itself. When in doubt, don't be gentle. So it looks like these buttons, it's actually very interesting because these buttons are all encased and sealed. You can see the thickness, and I'll just take a second, pause this for a second, and go grab my other GPS watches to make a comparison. Okay, so now I have all three of my GPS watches here. I've got the Nike Plus watch, which if you look at the basic face comparison, the Magellan is definitely just a little bit bigger, but again, it's one of those situations where it's really that the Nike is a little bit more sleek, only has buttons on one side, and again, as I mentioned, the Magellan is definitely a sealed configuration, has buttons on both sides, and the curved surface seems to handle a little bit, or make things seem a little bit sleeker. And not surprisingly, the Garmin is pretty tiny and extremely lightweight, although the thickness is actually fairly similar between the two. The Magellan is actually not too heavy. I would rate about the same as the Nike. Garmin lightest by quite a bit. So now the next function is going to be to see what we get out of the quick start guide and how to configure this, and I'm going to try to take it for a run and include that as well as this first look. Now, the one thing that I did mention was how I found the Magellan docking cradle to be very similar to that of the Garmin. So the Garmin, as mentioned, has got the 4 connections on the back, and then the Magellan, I'll have to unhook it once again on the strap, has 4, but these are on the corners. So it'll be very interesting to see. I'm not really sure how this exactly unhooks. I don't know if it unscrews, if I actually have to unscrew it in order to use it for other functions, but again, I'll look at that in the quick start guide. Again, Mike from Gear Diary, thanks for watching. Hi, it's Mike from Gear Diary, and wanted to take a final look at the Magellan Switch wrist GPS, as I'm calling it, because there's no watch. I just powered it on, and as you can see, the first thing it starts doing is searching for the GPS sensors straight away without really giving you much of a choice on that. So that can be a real battery hog if you happen to be indoors like I am now. So let's hope that I can cancel that, and that I did. Now on the laptop I have got the Magellan site up and running, and it's ready for me to go. So back over to the watch, and just to take a look, similar to, I've amassed quite a few cords from all these GPS watches, similar to what the Garmin has. We have got a 4-pin connector, as I mentioned in the earlier part, that hooks on similar to the, again, to the Garmin, hooks right on, and as you can hear a small beep in the background, and it is, actually if I take a look at the front of it, something rather cool. Well, it tells you that it's connected, it's charging, 73% charged, and it is hooked up by USB. And now if I just go over to, let's see if I can come over to the Mac and just kind of kick in here a little bit. The first thing you might notice is that Magellan actually mounts as a drive. So now let's go back over and head to the upload, and it will find activity, and we can go ahead and do this. Now the interesting thing, which, pardon me for shaky cam, what you might notice is that it says 0 feet. That is because it did not, it may have tracked that I was doing something for an hour and a half, but it didn't pick up the GPS, so it just recorded me for a while. Now I'll upload that. I'll go ahead and upload. Now while that finishes, I'll pause for a second. Okay, so now we're done uploading and we're ready to click done, and actually has that activity. So I can go ahead and click to close this window. So then I can go to activities. I'm not going to select the one that happened today. I'll go back to a previous one, which, it's interesting, I think it's switched over on me for a little bit, because that actually is not the one that I wanted to look at. That's that is October 1st. However, this one appears to be in reverse chronological order, and it is. So we've got speed, elevation, you've got your various laps, and it tells you what device you're using. You can have elapsed time, you can have your distance, which also has your elevation mixed in there. So I've got reasonably constant speed, distance, time, average speed, calories, heart rate, elevation. So I can change that over to pace as well. So and that's really about all you've got on there. There is not within here a player that you might see in some of the devices. You can export to a variety of things. You've got private, you can make it public if you wanted to share it that way. And other than that, that's pretty much it. You've got decent GPS view, shows you where you've been running, your pace tracker, and that's about it. So that is the Magellan Online Activity Tracker. Mike from Gear Diary. Thanks for watching.